Hi, Space Village. Here we go. I'm starting the reviews on the space cars that will last probably 10 days. So here it goes with a lot of foundational work. What is a space system and what is the space system composition? This content will go with examples of things. So we'll talk about what is an example of a launch system, what is the example of a spacecraft, what is the example of a ground system. But most important, why do we need these things? And that is the reason why, although we start by the characterization of launch, spacecraft, and ground, these things only exist in order to deliver a purpose. In this case, the mission requirements. And I'll give you a great example of what are mission requirements and how are they formulated. I really enjoyed that part. It requires some level of go-to. Here we go. So what is a launch system? Well, let me move my window. A launch system is just this thing, the full rocket, okay? In this case, I'm using the example of the SLS, Space Launch System for NASA, and it's taking the Orion spacecraft, and it does have solid rocket boosters, the engines, the core stage, all the things that you see in here. So really big things. That's part one. Next one. Oh, to have an idea, rockets, man, if you think Space Shuttle was big and Falcon Heavy is big, just think about Saturn V that took us to the moon, and of course Starship, that is just gigantic, okay? That's why we want to take all of those, so many tons of payload to, payload is just the way that people in space say the load or the volume that you can take. I think it's more spaceship, spacious, that. Okay, ground support. Well, SpaceX is launching from Pod 39A. This pretty amazing picture of a space shuttle in there, but all of this is, we are still in the first level, okay? So this is the launch system. Got the rocket and you've got the things around it. See that as the infrastructure. This one is pretty cool, okay? Pretty strong. The resolution could be better. Okay, now, spacecraft. Spacecraft is that thing over there on the top. You see in here? This little thing over there. That in this case, Orion will carry, at least for astronauts, and we know that other spacecrafts do that. Dragon as well from SpaceX, and what about, and also from Jeff Bezos, Blue Origin. You can also see the spacecraft has that tiny little place where people go. Think about that in that way. Hopefully one day it will not be tiny, it will be like a bus. Ground stations. Okay, so the ground support and all the things that take care, it's as essentially the ground segment. We talked about the launch facility, the ground station itself, and that communicates, but it's all the things that are on the ground that communicate and transfer data that support the mission, okay? Really important. You see these gigantic things, plates, control centers, remote terminals that take care of all the data that maintains the mission under control. So really cool. And of course, their objective is to communicate with the spacecraft. And of course, I think in here it's missing the fact that during launch, you maintain the launch facility. It's only talking about the spacecraft, but we also should have the rocket in here. Although for a shorter time, the rocket is also being controlled by the launch facility and the control center. Next. Okay, LRO. Gonna stop. Okay, and in here, requirements are probably the thing that where this should have all started. Mission requirements. In this case, I'm bringing LRO, Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. And this is just the way that people wrote down things, okay? The LRO shall access matter-scale features on the lunar surface to enable safety analysis for potential lunar landing sites over targeted areas of 100 square kilometers per LRO landing site target specification document. So you see, it has that language that specifies things with data. It's very, very interesting. And I got a couple of images in here and also the source. It's fantastic that we've got a document like this out there. Really, really impressive. What more do we have in here? We got, okay. Of course, requirements are done at the highest level. So you've seen level 1 requirements, and then they break down into the mission, ground systems, spacecraft boots, orbiter, instruments, and they can continue on and on. But for the mission, from the program until the launch vehicle, so requirements kind of cascade and need to be traceable. That is one of the important things in systems engineering, is that we decide the things, and then those things and those needs cascade down to several levels for execution. Really, really impressive. LRO, Earth.ESA.int web EO portal satellite missions -L-LRO. Great portal for information. And I think that with this, I conclude, yes, the mission of today. So you see, why is it important with mission requirements? Is because they define the launch system, they define the spacecraft, the payload, what is the thing that you are taking, and all the other kind of subsystems, and of course all the ground systems. Receive and process payload data, spacecraft command and control, like we've said before. Enjoy!